Hey everyone, it's Susan Pierce Thompson and welcome to the weekly vlog. So, it's this unusual point in the Bermuda Triangle between Christmas and New Year's, and January 1st is coming up. And oh, by the way, around here in BLE Land, we're talking a lot about the Reboot Rezoom program and the concept of Reboot Rezoom. And all of this conspires to foster this particular brand of insane food thinking that I think I'll call the in advance what the hell effect. The what the hell effect in advance. It's like, you know what the what the hell effect is? Now, I'm not swearing just because I like to, which sometimes I, do let the occasional whatever out of my mouth. I'm actually using that phrase because it's the psychological term for it in the scientific literature. The what the hell effect is the term for that phenomenon where you've just eaten a little bit off your plan and you think, well, what the hell? Now I might as well just eat the whole thing and start again later, right? So it's like, oh, I've had a piece of pizza. I'm just going to finish the whole pizza and I'll start again on Monday. Or, I've broken my bright lines a little bit. I'm just going to, make sure to eat everything that I've ever sort of missed while I was doing bright line eating because I'll be restarting here soon, resuming soon, and I want to get it all in now. Okay. So that's the what the hell effect. The what the hell effect in advance is I think I'm going to resume, or January 1st is coming, or I'm going to start bright line eating. And so now I'd better get all that food in, right? So it's like not because you've just broken your lines or because you've just eaten something, but because you intend to resume or to start or to launch off solid, clear, strong in the future, whether that's Monday or January 1st, or because you're starting the boot camp, or because you're, going through the getting started checklist of the 14-day challenge or whatever, but you can feel some start or some resume in the future. So your head tells you now's the time to go eat because the gates of hell are closing in on us here in a little bit. We're about to be really rigid. We're about to be really on track. We're about to really do this right. So quick, get in all your indulgences now because the gates are closing. And you're not going to do it later, so do it now. It's the what the hell effect in advance of starting, in advance of resuming. Now, this kind of reminds me of a misperception that I've noticed several people having during this whole discussion of Reboot Rezoom that we've been having lately. So I'm about to offer the Reboot Rezoom course for the first time. Registration is opening on December 28th, 2018. And it's a course that we intend to have around in the future here in Bright Line Eating. So in 2019, we'll offer it again. And then at some point, we hope to make it evergreen, which means available anytime, rolling admission. And in the sort of materials, I've put out this free video series, right, for Reboot Rezoom. And this masterclass series explains this really powerful reframe. Where in the past, we used to think, if only I could find the silver bullet and lose my excess weight, I'd be good. And we start off with fanfare and a lot of motivation on some new plan, hoping and praying that it's the silver bullet. And then we fall off track and we crash and burn, fall off the wagon, gain back our weight, start maybe some new plan or system with a lot of motivation, fall off the wagon, regain our weight, and on through the years it goes. These cycles of, doing great with our food for a while and then falling off the wagon. And in that framework, what you're really hoping and praying for is the silver bullet finally, the plan that you can finally stick with, the plan that finally works, the plan that finally gives you the willpower, or you being ready, right? Or whatever it is, the magical combination so that you sort of soar off into the sunset, happy, thin, and free forever, right? And that every time there's a sign that, maybe this one isn't working, maybe, I've blown it, I just ate a bunch of stuff, or that sort of sets in this fear and panic shame spiral where your isolator kicks in, pulls you away from support, you crash and burn hard, and you go into this free fall phase that's really scary. And, you know, you put back your weight and you kind of have to wait to get sick and tired enough to restart again. The reframe is that the real solution actually doesn't exempt us from all cycles. We still experience cycles. The difference is that they're milder and we move the bar up so that we're no longer falling into the danger and destruction zone of unrestrained eating and the free fall and the panic. The cycles become softer, gentler, and like just higher up so that when we're on a downslope, we don't crash and burn all the way down. We're able to catch ourselves and come back up. Okay? So this is the Reboot Rezoom sine wave or cycle or whatever at its healthiest. And what I shared in one of the videos is that, you know, when I look back to the stretch of years, it was like 8 years that I had perfect bright lines. I didn't eat a bite off my food plan. During those 8 years, I experienced cycles. There were times when it felt like my food was a little off. Certainly my program was a little off. And I'd kind of talk it over with someone in my support network and I'd clean it up, kind of resolve to do better, get myself some accountability and some support and kind of resume. So I experienced these periods of lapse or relapse, if you like. Lapse, like loosening up, like off track for a bit. And then I'd go back and tighten things up and go on a resume phase again. Even though my food, you know, was immaculate for 8 years, if you look more closely, it wasn't all equally immaculate. Sometimes it was really sort of perfectly neutral, perfectly dialed in, and other times I was holding on to the structure of the bright lines. I wasn't really breaking my major commitments, but things felt a little bit wonkier. And I gave some examples in the video of what that might look like clinging to bigger fruit. Like I'm going to the grocery store and I gotta spend extra time finding the biggest apples, you know, or I'm putting cinnamon all over my breakfast cereal or extra balsamic vinegar all over my salad or you know, those are just some of the examples of things you can do using condiments in excessive quantities, too much mustard, too much whatever, where someone might look like, whoa, that's a lot of mustard, you know. Those are the kinds of things you can do without technically breaking your bright lines, right? 8 cups of herbal tea to get through the day, 8 glasses of sparkling water with lime to get through the day. Those are the types of things that signal that something's off, that I'm in a lapse mode or a relapse mode, but I haven't broken my bright lines, okay? So anyway, I talked about all this in these videos, but this image of cycling up and down, a lot of people, not tons and tons, but enough, commented below the videos and said something like, this idea of relapse and resume always being in the mix and like being part of the journey feels like it's giving me permission to go cheat, like it's giving me permission to go break my bright lines. My head is having a field day with these ideas saying, see, you're always going to be relapsing and resuming. You might as well go eat. Someone else posted below one of those videos, how would this work for an alcoholic? Like always relapse, resume, just accept that? I don't think so. And what I wanted to share at this particular time of year where we've just, you know, there've been a lot of holidays, a lot of parties, a lot of fanfare and food, alcohol in our environment. And now we're coming up to January 1st. We're in these days where it's like your head already might be giving you that message of the what the hell effect in advance. And so I wanted to speak to this phenomenon of, what do you do when your head is telling you, just go eat now because you're going to clean it up later? Or if you're always going to be cycling, then go eat, right? You can go on the upswing some other time. So first of all, I want to say the Reboot Rezoom framework does not give us license to go eat. That is a gross misrepresentation of this reframe. The reality is that even if you are always pointed toward your best efforts at recovery, saying, no, I don't eat that stuff anymore, you will find that the cycles happen anyway. To take that truth, that reality, as license to choose to go eat is a gross misrepresentation of what it's all about. Like, no. That is not the reboot, resume, reframe. I get that we have a food indulger inside of us that wants to hear it that way. And it is normal if you have a part of you that said, oh, good, we always get to resume, so let's go eat. That is a childish, young, immature part of us that just wants to take its comfort with food today. And guess what? You, me, we get to be the grown-up and say, I know you want to interpret it that way, honey, but that's not what it's about. The cycles are not for us to throw ourselves down the mountainside just so we can climb back up again. No. No. That's not what it's about. Even if you are always oriented toward your strongest, highest, best recovery, you will cycle anyway. And the cycles, by the way, are not all about food. When you've constructed a strong program, the cycles will happen first with things other than food. The food is the last to go. So when you're on the lapse part of that curve, it's not that you're eating, folks. It's not that you're eating. It's that your meditation has lapsed. You're not as in touch with other people in bright line eating. You're not getting to bed on time, so you're feeling kind of crispy around the edges because you're tired. Maybe you've gone back to caffeine or something like that. Whatever it is that for you signals that things are a little off. There's a million ways that that could show up. I just gave a bunch of them a little bit ago in the food domain, right? Not to say that you've broken your bright lines. We're not talking about, picking up the NMF. We're talking about a lapse that gives you signs that things are slipping a little bit before you've broken your bright lines. Okay? Things will go off in your daily habits and in your social support structures. And when you notice those, you know the food's coming next. The food is the last to go. Okay? So you need to be a watcher and an adult, a highest self, to say, okay, scanning your environment of your Bright Line Eating program on a daily basis, how's my support? How are my connections with other Bright Line Eaters? And how are my daily behaviors, my morning routine, my evening routine? Are those in place and my food's neutral and written down for the next day and I'm eating only in exactly that? Perfect. As soon as you start to notice your daily habits and your support falling away, you know that you've crested the peak and you're in a relapse cycle. You're in a lapse. And now your job is to pull it back together, get that morning routine back square, reach out to some folks and get connected so that you pick up with the resume cycle before it ever touches your food. And this will happen naturally. This will be part of the way it goes. This is not licensed to go eat. So the challenge with succumbing to the what the hell effect in advance is, you know this already, it reinforces a diet mentality. It reinforces the old construct of I'm going to be perfect when I start this thing, which gives me permission to be as imperfect as I want to be now. Quick, eat it all now because I'm going to be perfect then. There is no perfect. All we got is one day at a time. And the question to ask yourself is, am I doing this thing or aren't I? Do I do Bright Line Eating? Am I a person who has decided to stand on the mothership doing Bright Line Eating one day at a time, whether it feels good or not? Am I here doing this? this is sort of a theme that's coming up in Bright Line Eating more and more and more. I am calling people to step into their strongest, highest, clearest selves and to let go of the blame, the excuses, the like, but they're all doing it, so whatever, like I heard people say, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you are self-responsible. Yes, we're talking about relapse and resume cycles. Yes, we go up and down in our program. Yes, we do. Is that licensed to slide down the mountainside? No. You are self-responsible. You get to put your big girl panties on, your big boy shorts on, and just say to that part, which is totally like a legit part, and this little kid inside us that wants to just go indulge, I know you're thinking that that's what that little sine wave means, but that's not what it means. It doesn't mean that we get to go sit in a corner and eat all that candy. No, that's not what it means. We don't do that anymore, one day at a time. Now, I'll tell you what I think the best way to handle that part that's saying, we're going to resume soon. The course is starting. We're going to resume soon. So we're going to eat everything now. The best way to handle that is to get human beings to support you through it. Like get on the phone with somebody, text somebody and say, look, I got to say, I got a part inside of me that's telling me to eat because we're going to start this Reboot Rezoom course here in a few days. And it's squawking at me loud. Like that is the kind of inner voice that is best dissolved, absorbed, acknowledged, loved, integrated, nurtured with someone else on the phone helping you do it. Reminding you, yeah, I understand you're thinking that. Isn't that kind of the old way though? Like, what's the next right thing today? How can you get through this day without doing that, without picking up any of that food, without voluntarily sliding down the mountain slope into the crash and burn, right? The good thing about Bright Line Eating support is we're not all crazy on the same day. We're not all struggling on the same day. So in the moment where you're having that thought of, I'm going to resume later so I can slide off track now, there's someone else in Bright Line Eating who's feeling strong, free, neutral, confident, and would love to talk you through that moment of discombobulation and temptation. So lean into us. Right now, if you're watching this vlog in real time, we've got this Facebook group, Reboot Rezoom in 2019. You could find someone to talk to in that group. You could post this, you know what? The whole notion of resume is making me want to eat. Anyone hop on the phone with me right now? I could use some support. Or just post it and just get the comments of support. You do not need to eat in advance just because you're starting in the future. You do not want to start your Bright Line Eating journey or restart your Bright Line Eating journey as if it's a diet. It's not a diet, sweetheart. It's not a diet. This is a new identity. We do this because we do this. 365 days a year, one day at a time, because we want to live happy, thin, and free. And it matters to us that much. So, just wanted to present this because I've been seeing it in the comments, and even one of my team members was telling me today, yeah, I want to eat because I'm about to resume. She's on her bright lines. I'm like, really? Come on. All right. We're making that the vlog this week. No eating in advance. And as always, if you eat in advance and you watch yourself do it, that's that okay. The resume is coming, but no permission to do it. No. Orient yourself toward a bright line day, no matter what, even on the day before you plan to start. No sugar, no flour, 3 meals a day. Put your food on the scale. You got this. You got this. There's a lot of adulting going on around here. A lot of adulting. Just because our little parts are squawking at us doesn't mean we need to give in to them. All right, enough said. I love you. I'll see you in 2019. Can't wait.